Hey everybody, it's me, Joshua Lewis, Psychic Medium, and I am bringing you a wonderful story, a story from my book, Finding Hope in the Afterlife. I tell this story in detail, but I would love to share it here on this channel. When I first started doing instrumental transcommunication, working with different pieces of equipment, I invited a woman who was told to me by some other friends that she was a medium. So I invited her to come out with Nikki and I when we were doing some of our investigations in cemeteries and different locations. And working with this medium, she was validating, getting information that no one else could know, that we were finding out through our equipment. I, one day, asked her about who she channels, and she said she channels an angel named Jay. And the information that she always got was just, oh, so amazing. A few months after working with her, she kind of pulled me aside and said, Josh, I want to tell you something. The energy that I channel, the consciousness that I channel is Jesus. And when she told me that, I didn't know how to react. But, you know, she said, I didn't want to tell you guys because, you know, some people don't know how to react, and I don't like to claim that. But she goes, that is who's coming through me when I choose to channel. So one day, Connie and I were having coffee, and we were sitting there, and I said, you know, I love Jesus. I'm a big fan of who Christ is, and I follow him. I said, I would like to ask some questions and try to be open about it. And she said, sure. I said, could I speak to him? And she told me when she felt that energy there. And I said, you know, Jesus, you were a craftsman. You were a carpenter. Can you tell me some of the things that you made when you were alive? What did you do? And he said, I would carve chairs, tables, the yoke for the oxen, for the crops. There was a number of things that he listed. He also said that he would make these little wooden keepsakes, and he would give them to people. And I said, well, what was on these keepsakes? And he said, a reminder of his word, of his teachings. I said, I've gone to Sunday school my whole life, Catholic church. I don't remember ever hearing about keepsakes that you would make. What was on them? And he said there was a design. And I said, you know, could you show Connie what this design is if we asked you to? And he said yes. I got up, got a pen, a piece of paper, and Connie was just as shocked as I was. And you can tell she had this very innocent nature to her. You can read people, you can get a sense of their reactions. And she was just, as you could tell, amazed as I was. I got her that paper, and almost from within her mind, or even guiding the pen, she was able to draw a design. She drew a circle first. Then she drew a dot in the middle. And then there were these lines that ran away from the dot to the outside with other dots. I said, what does this design mean? All of a sudden, Connie started writing words, and as if she was getting each word and then writing it down. And the design she made, that she drew, that she channeled, was this design. This is what it looked like. When she was done with it, it was a circle with 14 points on the outside, 14 intersections, and a dot in the middle. And I said, well, how does that describe your word? And with each word, he explained it to me. The dot in the middle, he said, is God. It represents God. The lines that run away from him are fear. They run to an outer ring known as the ring of fear. There's 14 outer points and 14 intersections. I said, well, what does it all mean? And he said that the 14 outer points and 14 intersections represent our inner and outer qualities. And I said, well, what are the outer qualities? And he proceeded to give Connie every single word. Separation, fear, lust, anger, pain, sorrow, envy, malice, need, disillusionment, self-deceit, betrayal, dishonesty, and insecurity. And those points lay on the ring of fear, where we can live our lives if we are not careful, if we're not vigilant, circulating in those 14 outer qualities. He said, the only thing that points you back to God, which are those intersections, they point you back to the source of love. And he proceeded to tell me, it's love, peace, stillness, joy, trust, giving, compassion, gratitude, security, honesty, truth, fullness, wisdom, salvation. Those all point us back to God. And what was amazing is that this was like such a beautiful lesson, all held in one design. It is his teachings. If we live in those outer qualities, we have more fear in our lives, and we are that much further away from God. But when we live in those inner qualities, we have God. We are living in that light. We are next to him. We're in the source. I was blown away by this, and I asked him if it was a 2D dimension, a 2D design. And he said, no, it's a 3D design that looks more like this. And this is the piece that I carved from wood when I got home that night. When I left that meeting, I instantly went home and carved this design into a piece of wood. And you can see the fear, the lines run us away to the outer qualities, and they bring us down. But the inner qualities, they are an ascension up towards the center, towards source. So I started to try to research the significance of a 14-point star, or anything that was of 14 points like that. Now, there is a 14-point star that adorns the place in Bethlehem where Jesus was believed to have been born. I thought that was interesting. Now, I belonged to a group on Facebook which studied cymatics, which is the study of sound through visual effects. And this guy had taken a sound, a frequency, and run it through water, where he was able to flash freeze it so you could see in a piece of ice what the design of that sound makes. It's called a frozen sound wave. And sure enough, it's a piece of ice that looks like the life piece. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. That was literally the design of the life piece. I messaged him and I said, what sound, what frequency did you use? He said that he used 111, 111. I went online and I looked up the frequency of 111, and I found that it's also known as the holy frequency. Well, now this is getting interesting. Digging even further, I found that some megalithic structures resonate at the frequency of 111. But why 111? Why would ancient civilizations want to create a structure, a temple that resonates at the tone 111? Well, a study was done, and in this study, it found that when 111 was administered to people, the brain waves would move from the prefrontal cortex to the right side dominant. And the right side is what is also responsible for our creativity, for sensitivity, for our intuitive nature. So in essence, the 111 would help us to have an intuitive contact with our higher power. I mean, I couldn't believe that the 111 was used to help people in worshiping their higher power, God. Also created this design, which was also given to me through a channeling from Connie, from Jesus. The meaning of the words and what it means, just having that little design as a reminder of what qualities to live in and how living in our outer qualities can really hurt us. One day I was out back doing a reading for someone, and I was helping connect with her grandmother on the other side. And the grandmother was talking about Jesus to me. Well, I looked up and I see this eye in the sky. I take my phone, I take a picture, and I don't even look at it for a couple days. When I decided to look at that picture, I see what looks like the face of Christ. I also see a dove, but ultimately it was the face that stuck out. Well, the person that I was on the phone with, I sent the picture to as well, doing that reading for, and she found in the bottom, underneath the face, around the chest area, if you will, there was the life piece design. There it was, undeniably in the clouds. How can that be? Now, maybe someone could say, well, I don't know if I see the face, but you can't deny that the life piece design was there. One day I was looking at the Shroud of Turin, which is believed to be the shroud that Jesus was wrapped in after his crucifixion. A very powerful visual, one that I have tattooed on my chest over my heart. I see that shroud and it reminded me of the picture, the clouds, the face. I decide to take that image and make it transparent and put it over the clouds. And you can see here that it matches up. Even the blood stains match up. And it's really remarkable. This was, for me, yet again, another example of how I have the privilege and honor to work with Christ in a way that is very intimate and deep. Jesus is not some religious figure. He's a figure for anyone. Anyone could connect to him, whether they're Jewish or Muslim or atheist. It's a journey that everyone should embark on in some way. Now, I don't push Christ. I don't proselytize. I believe it's important that we have the ability to find answers on our own, whether that's through Buddha, Allah, Krishna, or Christ, or through atheism. That if you are someone that battles with lack of faith, there are some signs out there, some messages that have been given through people like myself or Connie or other wonderful mediums, channelers, people that are just connected. This design is for anyone because it could help anyone live a better life. I share this story and a lot of this in my book, but I wanted to share it here. I wanted to share it with all of you and show you the pictures and show you the connections. It's really powerful. I thank you all for allowing me to share my journey with you, sharing these interviews, these sessions that I'm doing, and now these spiritual stories. I hope this helped you to believe a little bit more, not only the hereafter, but also in the love of Christ that can exist for anyone that is open to it. I love you all. Until next time, thank you.